rusty and stiff, but they get in the gym in the morning, they loosen up, and they're ready to roll.
Fred Couples second at the 7th. Last play in this group.
And right down the gut here for Fred. It's going to probably stay in the front center of this green, leave a long look at eagle for Fred.
Fred has had some near misses, 3 times a runner-up.
I love it, though.
Long eagle putt here for Fred Couples, Zinger.
Yeah, he got it right into the bowl. A good tee shot set up the second, and this one's going to wander off.
A lot more work than you want after a good second shot.
Fred Couples was also in that playoff, but he was eliminated with a bogey on that first playoff hole. Now Couples for his birdie at the 7th to get to 3 under.
Really surprised from this distance Fred is not going cross-handed. He did all last year from inside at about 10 feet.
Let's go over to the 8th and Fred Couples with his bag of woods.
He does. It's really almost crazy to me. His longest iron is a 7-iron now, and the rest are hybrids. They're very easy to hit, and just by watching him, it just looks like, you know, it's effortless around the holes today. We'll see a lot of edges.
Now Couples for his birdie.
Be a little quick once he gets over this rise. You can see it a little shiny back down green. Fred being careful with it. Right in the gut, short. I don't know why it is. Every time you leave it short, it's always dead center.
It's okay to leave those short. You're just hoping to 2-putt. All you really want is a gimme. And a lot of times you kick yourself for leaving it short, but you really just want that tap in.
Now Fred Couples over at 10 to play his second.
This is where the hybrid has to really help Freddie so much. This could be a 6 hybrid, replacing his 6-iron. Would you call it a 6 hybrid?
I don't have a clue.
Way right. And doesn't hurt a flea. It's going to be a challenging 2-putt from there.
Couples played his eagle putt to here, so he has this for birdie.
Pretty simple look here for Fred. This should be in the hole, right center would be my guess from here. The screen does slope back to front.
Fred, who was warming up in only Fred's style as he makes the birdie at the 10th. Spent more time talking about the Dodgers with Rob Lowe than he did actually hitting those hybrids, but Mr. Cool makes birdie at the 10th. Guy who was not the last guy out, no. Fred Couples for his birdie.
He made it.
Fred was talking to Rob Lowe on the range about potentially going to Japan to see the Dodgers play.
I didn't realize that Freddie was that big a Dodger fan. No idea.
Fred Couples getting set on the tee.
This is a giant fairway. You want to...
Well, he can take it over the bunker right if he wants to here at 13, and then there's a lot of room left with that hole location. And if he feeling his oats, he can take it over that bunker right and really have a simple second shot in here.
He's at 8 of 9 fairways today.
Kind of turned that. That's a very strange flight for Fred Couples. Very seldom hits a low one to the left.
Fred Couples getting set to play his second at 13.
Oh, I just drove it a mile down here. Some kind of short iron for Freddie. And
tough angle with the wind coming over the left shoulder. Oh, he's short. Yeah, that was just a tough angle.
It was live. Couples now from the bunker.
What a bunker player. Remember the one-handed bunker shot he hit at Augusta on the 16th hole? That was one of the great bunker shots of all time. So silky and smooth.
Well, between Fred and Ernie, you could sit there and watch both of them hit bunker shots all day.
Yep.
Let's go over to 14. Fred Couples in the greenside bunker in 2.
Well, we saw him hit a delightful little close-in bunker shot. Now this is probably affords him a couple more options, which isn't always great. He's got to decide if he's going to hit a spinner or a runner. He didn't get it right. Kicked out on him. No good for Freddie.
Yeah, normally out here on PGA Tour Champions with 3 rounds, I think this week you're probably looking at 67, worst 68 to be in the mix going to the weekend. Normally, I always felt like 68 was the number I had in my head playing Friday or first round to get in the mix going to the weekend.
So Couples will settle for a par at the reachable 14th.
Yeah, not a good feeling for Freddie. He's a better bunker player than that shot. He just didn't get it cleanly.
5 driver. I played very heavy drivers just for that reason.
Same with Freddie. You know, this is just languid motion, but the head, you know, makes the difference. His elbow drops, and then the head just wins the fight.
Good shot there, skirting those bunkers down the right-hand side.
Couples second into 16.
Oh, he's going to feather one in there, a little left or right, I think. That's where he's aiming, Lanny.
Yeah, he always sets up left with the short irons and just holds it off, and that's a beautiful play there by Fred.
Is it ever? Holy mackerel. Pin high, that bunker back there. Actually, a lot of players coming up short. Only a couple guys getting it past that flag. Beautiful shot.
Look out for him this weekend.
Yeah, Miguel has told us sometimes you want it too much and you get out of what you do. Couples for his birdie to get to 3 under.
That's a fine birdie. He deserved it. Good drive. Great second shot.
Yeah, it's not an easy hole today.
Yeah, great birdie back there. Just had a little tap in. You don't see that very often at the 16th.
What do you
What type
think
of shot Fred wants to play here? It doesn't matter how he lines up, but he will play a draw or a cut from the same position, which is amazing.
Well, Cookie, we just saw him hit a beautiful cut. I wonder if he's going to hit some kind of hold me draw here.
I think he would have to.
Well, it's unique in one thing. He does not have a hybrid.
Yeah,
He's
think
down
about
to
that.
7 or 8, probably a little chippy 8 iron maybe.
I would think he'd try to turn an 8. That would be, I think, proper for Fred.
He teed it up pretty high for an iron. He's going to hit down on this. Divot's going to come off way in front of the ball.
Boy, everybody's different when teeing them up on par 3s. I was always blown away how high Nicklaus teed it up on par 3s.
Lee Trevino told me one time never to tee it up on the par 3s. I do a little bit. I don't believe he ever did.
So Couples will have that for a birdie. You know, it's pretty cool. Fred Couples was a member of the 1993 Ryder Cup team. Paul Azinger was a member of that team. Lanny Watkins was a member of that team. John Cook was a member of that team. We've got Corey Pavin in the field here this week. We've got Lee Jansen in the field here this week. All members of that team.
The last team to win on foreign soil.
We sent it down to John Cook, who was part of that team and had that big point in the afternoon 4-ball, John.
Thank you there, Bob. And I'm here with Fred Couples, and I know you love this place. So they just showed a picture of our 93 Ryder Cup team. Wow. 5 players here on property, actually 6, Bernhard Langer, but 5 players on our winning U.S. team. What do you remember about that week?
I remember we had one hell of a team, and we battled hard. And I'm old, but that's when Davis made the putt and lifted his arms up. I still have the sweater. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do too. But it's hard to believe that's the last time we won. But you know what? It is what it is. But I know the guy in the booth, Lanny, was on that team too. So it was a heck of a team. And we still have had great teams since, but I don't know. Maybe someone can tell us why we can't win over there.
Well, Lanny is retiring this week. A message for Lanny?
Yeah. You know, I watched. When I don't play, I watch. I think Lanny's phenomenal. I think he's great with all the players. And I guess when you retire, he can go to Preston Trail and start hitting balls every day.
Right, exactly.
But he's a good man. And, you know, I see you a lot because you're out here, but I don't see him much. But it's always fun to listen to him and then all you guys.
I appreciate your time, Fred.
Okay.
Finish strong.
Let's see if Couples can go back-to-back birdies at 16 and 17.
Down that slope a little bit, wind kind of right to left.
Oh, wait, we're talking about that 93 team. We got to give, we talked about the match that you and Chip Beck won, Cookie. You got to give our colleague, Jim Gallagher Jr. in singles. He took down Seve.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
And Lanny was right. They walked every step of the way on that back nine, Tom Watson and I.
The grass, Bob, and now that they are past Palom, it stands straighter up and not as much grain. If they're the same slopes, they're not going to break quite as much. The Bermuda grass would have had a little bit more grain and would have had more breaks going across, no question.
Now couples, John, what's Fred have?
Yeah, just a couple yards closer. Basically the same shot from 119 yards downwind. This one landed about 115. Let it check and release a little bit. Tugged it right at hole high, though. That's pretty good.
That's the strength. You know, these guys hit their wedges hole high so often.
I'm not over that.
Well, Freddie with a good look too now. A nice hole high shot here, Cookie.
Yeah, there's not much to this.
And he can join that group at 4 under right now. Harrison Frazier and Darren Clark are in at 4 under.
Freddie just amazing, just keeps going around and keeps playing quality golf.
Oh, that's
and
so
just
pure.
pours that in, dripped it over the right front edge.
So pure, Freddie. He was so cash this morning, warming up. And, you know, he always kind of lulled you to sleep if you weren't careful. If you get paired with Freddie, you think he's not trying, but he's destroyed you in his mind.
Fred Couples has never won on this property. 5 runner-up finishes. He rolls this putt in for birdie at the 8th, and this would get Fred to 7 under par. Holding speed off the right edge.
A couple back now. Fred Couples getting set to play his second at the 10th. And Zinger, we were out there earlier. You expect to see, and we've seen a lot of eagles at 10 so far today.
Oh yeah, this is definitely an eagle hole right now. It's very reachable. The cut is cup in an area where you could see a 2 landing up on that front right. There's a big hill right of the green that'll feed the ball down, and it'll reach. It actually dropped a couple balls, and it'll run right across the hole.
And actually right behind the hole, kind of a little bit of backstop. And you got to kind of wonder. I saw Fred with an iron out, knowing at least we think the longest iron in his bag is a 7-iron. So
it is.
May have been a 7-iron. He just had out for the par 5, and if he's got a hybrid, this has to be, I would guess, the 6 hybrid.
It's a 6-iron in
6
hybrid
whatever.
form for one of the greatest players of all times. You know, he's just at that age now, 66, 67. How old is Freddie? And he swears by it. He says, I don't have to swing as hard. I don't have to practice as much. If it goes farther, it goes up the hill. That's a great shot. Oh.
Yeah, that's the putt you want. You don't want to be long in that back right corner.
Ellis playing a lot tougher.
Couples for his eagle at 10.
Makes for an easy birdie for Fred.
Couples just a shot off the lead. He joins the group at 9 under. Fred Couples a shot back, his second into 11.
Doesn't like that, probably tugged left the way he's looking. And it was just off the left side of the green.
After missing the green at 11, Couples going with putter.
Thought he might have those sprinkler heads in the way, but he did not, obviously. And really well done there for Fred.
Fred Couples has this putt for birdie at 12.
Leaving the pin in Freddie. Let's see what happens. He didn't do that all the time.
Over at 13, Fred Couples, one of 5 World Golf Hall of Famers in the field this week. A runner-up in 2010, 14, 17, and 20.
He got an awesome shot in here yesterday, about a foot from the hole. Much tougher pin today over there on the back right.
His uncle Dana, a two-time winner here at Hualalai. Now couples for birdie at 13.
Up the slope for Fred. This is kind of 30 feet or so. Working a little to his right.
Fred Couples has a good look for birdie here at 14 to get to within one of the lead.
Ooh, good stroke. Yeah, that's nice.
Now Fred Couples on the tee at the par 4 15th.
Yeah, this is into the wind. I don't know that he can go through on the right, but there are bunkers on the left.
And he's found it. Oh, and he's up against the lip, just coming back.
It's a shot off the lead. He's going to have a difficult shot here at 15.
Freddie's been here 15 times through the years. This is a really hard shot, Lanny.
Hard to get it all the way back to the flag, and he did not even come close.
There was nothing he could do.
No.
Lay up from there. Freddie forced a lay up here, Lanny now for par.
And not a very good hole for Fred.
Now Couples has this for bogey.
Darren's only 2 shots behind. Freddie really desperately needs to make this one.
Yeah, you don't want to give away 2 at this point in time on just this. This is like everything that could go wrong on a hole has done this here for Fred. So let's at least salvage a little bit. Oh, that's as ugly a hole as you'll ever see Fred Couples play.
One of a kind, and got all kinds of candies in there and treats. Fred Couples coming off that double. No bueno.
Oh boy. Oh, double, oh boy.
Yeah, now that one is not good.
Coming off double at 15.
Ooh, Freddie left it in the bunker. This is his fourth shot. Yes.
Yeah, it's not his 3rd shot, it's his 4th shot.
He was in the back of the bunker, and that was kind of a struggle all of a sudden.
After a double at 15, this is Couples' putt for bogey at 16.
Tough little stretch for Freddie. Turned back.
They're making 8 straight pars to start the day.
Well, Freddie got punched in the stomach there a couple holes back.
Really could have used that one.
You've got a bigger target down that right-hand side, if you will.
It's been a miserable stretch for Couples. With a double at 15, a bogey at 16. Can he end with a birdie?
Oh my. That's the kind of day it was.
Just the last 4 holes.
Yeah. Wow. That's as brutal a lip out as I've seen. Boy, for this early in the year, that's nasty.
Up at 18, Fred Couples, who was right there, just a shot off the lead yesterday, and then ran into a brutal stretch at 15 and 16, trying to finish up with a birdie. Fred, been a runner-up 5 times here at the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hawaii, just never able to get it across the finish line at a venue that he certainly enjoys. So a final round 5 under par 67 for Couples.